The governor's race is not over, at least according to one candidate. We have a late update on what one side is prepared to do to get every ballot counted.
A local man talks about the time he spent working with now fired Attorney General Jeff Sessions, his reaction to the president's decision, and how he feels about the ongoing Russia election meddling probe.
First at 10 on Fox Chattanooga starts right now.
The midterm elections end and a new controversy begins in the nation's capital. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman.
And I'm Joshua. Today, Attorney General Jeff Sessions stepped down after President Donald Trump asked him to resign. President Trump said several times in the past he was disappointed in Sessions. Now, Matthew Whitaker will take over as acting Attorney General. Whitaker has criticized the Russian election meddling probe headed by Robert Mueller. When asked about the investigation, the president had this to say today.
I could fire everybody right now, but I don't want to stop it because politically I don't like stopping it. Yeah. It's a disgrace. It should have never been started because there was no crime.
A man in Chattanooga worked with both Sessions and Special Counsel Robert Mueller during his career as a federal prosecutor. And
tonight he sat down with James Torres to tell us his thoughts on today's headline. James.
Josh and Ken, that man says he's known Sessions for over 30 years, saying that he's a man of impeccable integrity. Well, tonight he says today's headlines are disappointing. Wayne Rich served as a federal prosecutor for 33 years. During that time, he says he's run into former Attorney General Jeff Sessions plenty.
I'm very sad that he's leaving because I know what a fine human being he is and what a dedicated public servant he is to a rule of justice.
Rich says he wasn't surprised when Sessions recused himself from the investigation into Russian collusion, and even during an interview with News Channel 9 over a year ago, he praised Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
And he is the man to lead the investigation from a professional standpoint, a fairness standpoint, and utmost integrity. So I believe the American people are very blessed that he's in that position.
Since then, Rich says he's only been disappointed in Mueller and his investigation.
Just looking at the lawyers and their backgrounds of giving political contributions to the opposite political party that you're investigating, I mean, I couldn't do that.
Fact-check website PolitiFact found some of those lawyers did give some contributions to past Hillary Clinton campaigns, but federal law prohibits Mueller from hiring lawyers with any political affiliations.
If it's based on fact and not slanted because of people that works for him, political views and loyalties, then that's a good thing. And that would be what I hope should happen.
As for disputes between the president and Sessions,
there's a disappointment in me that they aren't sitting down and hashing this out together one-on-one like you and I are talking.
Rich and I also talked about the acting Attorney General now, Matthew Whitaker. Rich says that he's never met Whitaker, so he doesn't know about his qualifications. And we talked a little bit about Whitaker's op-ed on a CNN article. Rich says that that's something he'll probably end up having to face a committee about. Right now, we're live in Chattanooga. I'm James Torres, First at 10 on Fox Chattanooga.
All right, James Torres, thank you very much for that. Now, many lawmakers reacted to the firing today. A statement from U.S. Senator Lamar Alexander from Tennessee says, in part, the one thing this does make certain is that the Mueller investigation into Russian meddling in elections will continue to its end, as it should, because no attorney general can be confirmed who will stop that investigation. Back in August, Senator Bob Corker seemingly predicted what was going to happen.
It's been clear to me that, you know, there's a move afoot to after the midterm elections, cause him to be gone. And, you know, I do fear for what comes after that.
You can see Senator Alexander's full statement and others at NewsChannel9.com.
The polls are now closed, but one candidate says the Georgia governor's race is not over. Today, Republican candidate and Secretary of State Brian Kemp declared victory, but Democrat Stacey Abrams' campaign does not accept that. On a conference call tonight, Abrams' campaign said they want to see every vote counted. Abrams' campaign says they believe there are 22,000 provisional ballots and 3,000 mail-in ballots that have yet to be counted.
Incredible amount of irregularities and issues we saw across early voting, absentee balloting, and election day voting. From long lines, provisional ballots, we're looking at potential thousands of additional votes and voters that need their votes counted.
Now, a spokesperson from Abrams' campaign said they are considering legal action that includes going to court to get a recount.
In Tennessee, the governor's race is done. Governor Bill Haslam welcomed Governor-elect Bill Lee at the state capitol today. Lee talked about the surreal experience that it was for him.
You can imagine that for me, this is an overwhelming feeling to drive up this hill and to walk into this building is quite humbling.
Lee won by a wide margin over Democrat Carl Dean, and the race was called early last night. Bill Lee will be the state's 50th governor.
In the U.S., House Republican Chuck Fleischmann won his race and kept his seat, but it was not the same story across the country. Democrats will now control the House when the new Congress is sworn in next year. We wanted to know if that means Congressman Chuck Fleischmann's job has changed. We spoke with him today. Fleischmann says he is not concerned. He plans to stick with the president's agenda.
Going to be a new experience. I have run and have supported President Trump and his agenda. The Senate has remained in Republican hands, and I think that's a very good thing.
Fleischmann says he will now be a ranking member of the Appropriations Committee. That committee handles items like the Chickamauga Lock and federal education spending.
More people voted early in Hamilton County than they did on Election Day. According to the elections administrator, that's never happened in a midterm election cycle. Over a 2-week period, more than 67,000 people voted early. On Election Day, a little less than 67,000 people voted. In fact, it was only a difference of 445 votes.
This was a record-setting, precedent-setting midterm election. It eclipsed the midterm elections in 2014, which was the most recent midterm election, comparable midterm, and any other midterm that's occurred in Hamilton County.
Kerry Steelman says early voting outpaced Election Day during the 2016 presidential cycle.
Most of the rain we had earlier has moved out. Still a few sprinkles at times, but otherwise through the night, a cloudy sky, and temperatures will hold steady, upper 40s to around 50 by daybreak. Now, there still could be some periods of light rain early in the morning, but especially to the afternoon, the chance for showers a little bit better. So keep the umbrella handy tomorrow and a jacket. Highs only range in the 50s. I'll have more on when more rain can move in and about 2 blasts of cold air coming our way. More on the 7-day forecast next.